not happy about it. He's not comfortable. Also, you as a nurse or an RT, or it's actually difficult to use. Always you need the disposables to be available. Always you will exert a lot of effort to apply it to the patient, because if you are using the straps, for example, you need to carry up the patient and just pass it and then strap it on him. If you are using the vest, you really need him to wear it as if he's wearing a real vest, and he have to close it on him, and you start using it. And you cannot use it on the same day several times, only one time a day. And also you cannot use it with a patient who's having trauma, or a patient who's having a spine injury, or a patient who have actually had recently even an abdominal surgery. So in such case, because it's uncomfortable, and it's not gonna, it's gonna be like, let us say, it will be like he's passing through pain. So nobody's happy about that. Here we will be applying our probe, actually, which is actually generating those acoustic waves directly to the patient. So what the patient actually is going to feel, he will feel as if you are giving him a massage session. This is not a physiotherapy machine, by the way. Okay, this is not like a high frequency machine like the one you're using in physiotherapy, or alternating waves or stuff like that. This is completely different. Actually, every organ in the body have its own frequency. So to penetrate, for example, the lungs, the frequency that we can work is between 38 and 42 hertz. You got my point? And so this is actually what the machine is designed for, just to penetrate inside the lungs, reach to the mucus, liquefy it, and then the patient will be able to spit it out. This also, with other machines, you cannot apply it for intubated patients. It's very difficult to apply to intubated patients. Here, you can even apply for intubated patients. And with the new machine, you can use it even 3 or 4 times a day. Yesterday, we've been in your sister hospital in Dammam. So after we make the presentation for them, we left this machine for them to use it yesterday evening. They use it the whole night. They applied for an intubated patient, female patient, and they likely they have an X-ray on Sunday, I think so, and sorry, on Saturday. Yesterday they use it, and then today morning they have a fresh X-ray, and there was an improvement, okay, on the obstruction on the lung, which is actually obstructed and things like that. So we can say that even using it for one day, 3 sessions only, and they are having an improvement. They don't have too much mucus inside the lungs. It's not congested, and it's easy for them even to use the suction and get it out. Okay, so this is only one day, so we can figure out if we use it 3, 4, 5 days, then in such case we will have huge improvement. Okay, and one of the advantages that we say that we can use it 3 or 4 times a day. We can use it every 4 hours on the same patient. Okay, and we can move from this patient to the another, from this one to the other, and it's easy to use. Okay, and also during using this machine, if you are having a patient who is still awake, it will help you to build a rapport with the patient. When you are going to apply this machine to the patient and you just start it, all what he will feel as if you are giving him a massage. It's not a massage at all, okay? But actually he will feel like that, okay? But you are applying the waves, acoustic waves, to enter the lungs and get the job done by removing his mucus or liquefying his mucus, so you'll be able to spit it out, or you can help him to get it out. You got my point? So during the process that you are doing that, it will help you as an RT or as a nurse or as anyone who's applying the machine to the patient to build a rapport with the patient. So he will start talking to you. He will start to be a little bit calmer, a little bit, because we all understand now that if the patient psychologically is calm and he somehow feels safe, he will improve. Okay. If he's panicked, even if his case is not an acute case, he will really it will turn to be an acute case. Okay, it will get worse. So this is one of what I believe, one of the things that actually we found that always after using on patients, okay, the patient is happy. Okay, so you as a nurse is happy because you are not suffering with the patient. Okay, you are just doing something that making him happy, and of course, if the patient happy, you are happy because he's not complaining. He's happy. Because when you are always having stress, when you are having patients with a lot of complaints, a lot of pain, a lot of demand, I'm not happy like that, I'm not happy on this position, so this is actually put a lot of stress on you.
Yeah.
So at the same time, now you are using a machine that will release your stress and the patient's stress. You got my point? So all what you need with this machine is to apply it on certain points. So usually in ICU, usually you're having a fresh X-ray. So you know exactly where is the mucus actually congested or where is the obstruction is. So you can go directly and target the spot that you want to do it. Okay, and this will really improve the time of the stay of the patient inside the ICU. Okay, because he will improve faster than before. Okay, because we cannot currently you cannot remove any mucus unless what you're giving him medication, right? Just to help him to get it out or stuff like that. But here we are actually working directly on the mucus, okay, without any medical or pharmaceutical or whatever intervention. We are just using mechanical waves that reach exactly to the mucus, liquefy it, and then it will get out because it's not stuck inside anymore. That's actually what's happening. Beside, as I said, this one you can use it with a patient who's having trauma. So even if he is having a spine injury, or even he's having an injury in the chest in front, you can use it also from the back. Okay, so you can use it from the back, you can use it from the front of the patient. The perfect is to use it from the front, okay, but if I'm saying that even if you are having a patient with an injury in his chest or something, you can apply it for an intubated patient. You can apply it also for the regular patients. You can apply it for people who are just on a CPAP only or a ventilator or whatever. Okay, so you can apply it anytime. And by the way, if the patient is awake, he will be happy by using this one. So you can even give it to him, spot it on the right side, and just he can hold it like that while just reclined.
But the problem is the patients here are lazy.
Sorry?
They are lazy to
Yeah.
hold.
I'm not saying that we will do this with all the patients.
Yeah.
I'm saying with the patients who are really improving. Okay, because he's dizzy. On the second day, the third day, he's not dizzy anymore. He's improving. So even if you give him this and just he put it on his chest and he just hold it, okay, he's not gonna be panicked because it will be just like as if giving him a massage on his chest. You know, that's he will something different, something which is different than intubation, that's insertions, than whatever. Okay, this is actually really very comfortable for the patient. Okay, so. And using the machine is very easy. It's really very easy because everything is set it up previously. In advance, everything is set it. So already it is set it on a certain way. All what we need to do is to change the two things, the frequency and the intensity of the waves. Okay. Usually, as we said, we are working the best frequency that we can use for lungs is between 38 and 42. You missed a lot.
It's okay. Because we're on duty now.
No problem.
The Madeira is here, no problem.
No, and your colleague is already having a video.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We will just preview the video.
No problem at all. So this is actually the range between 38 and 42. But let us suppose why we are having a change, a different. We can actually we are not giving you a high or a long range of 10. Maximum is like 65 and minimum is like 20. Okay, but as I said, the usual and the correct frequency is between 38 and 42. Why are doing this? Because actually on the other machines you cannot use it with neonates, right? And you cannot use it with small pediatrics. You cannot use it with very, very small, tiny people. Am I right? So with this machine, I'm applying to a normal person, like you, for example, or like to Mr. Alan. Okay. So Mr. Ryan, can you come please? Yeah. I'll show you something.
Model.
Yeah. Okay. So if let us suppose I'm applying to Alan right now. Okay. So Alan feeling as if I'm giving him a massage. Okay. Right now I'm on the frequency of 42. Okay. So I'm really reaching, okay, to the right spot inside the lungs. How I can make sure of that? I'm just putting my hand on his back. So I start to feel the vibration. Okay. I'm feeling the vibration beside.
What turns on?
I will tell you. Don't worry.
You feel your sound also hesitated sound.
Yeah. Now, also to make one of the other indications that you are targeting the right spot inside the lungs, that you, if you talk, maybe you'll find your voice is a bit cutting, okay, as if you are. It's not normal anymore. So that's why I'm coming back now. Why I can change the intensity, because maybe I'm having, okay, an obese patient. Okay, so if I'm just putting it on a patient which is obese, I'm not gonna reach to the lungs. I'm still working on the superficial tissues. You got my point? But if I'm using the right intensity, I'm really reaching inside. Okay, and you know, human beings are different from one to another. So if I'm having a very obese patient, I'm a little bit need to increase the intensity.
There is number for instance.
Sorry?
There is number.
That hurts.
No, there is a range actually for intensity,
Oh.
starting from like 0 up till 100%.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so this is actually depend on the patient.
Oh.
But all that's what I'm saying. How you will make sure that you're targeting the right spot,
Yeah.
just by your hand,
Oh,
okay? If he's not speaking anymore,
Yeah.
okay? But if he's not speaking, if he speaks, you will feel his voice is a little bit
It's
cutting,
changing.
a little bit, okay? So that's actually what is happening. So you only have two things to change: the intensity, which is usually you're gonna use it between patient to another, and the frequency. But you know exactly previously that it is actually between 38 and 42. This is the right frequency to reach inside the lungs and liquefy the mucus inside, in the bronchi and the alveoli and lungs inside. Okay, this is actually what's happening, and that's what happened yesterday when they use it in Mana Damam. Okay, the patient is intubated. Okay, and then what happened? They just after today, when they make the fresh X-ray, they find an improvement really in the X-ray from the X-ray that was taken on Saturday. Okay, so everybody's happy. You got my point? That's all. Let us suppose I'm having a patient who doesn't have a fresh X-ray. I don't know exactly where is the mucus is. So we will target like 6 spots on the patient. Thank you, Alan, a lot. We will have like 6 spots for the patient. We will start with our 6 spots from bottom to up. I'll just give you a massage.
I know actually, no, it's like penetrating.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the idea.
Yeah, this
It's
is
so penetrating.
those are mechanical waves. Okay, those are mechanical waves. So we are just penetrating, but we are passing the superficial tissues. We are passing your skin. We are passing your ribs. Okay, until we reach inside the lungs. You got my point? And so when I reach inside the lungs, as if mechanically, I'm just shaking the mucus, actually, but from inside the mucus.
So
Okay?
what's
the
the
substance
settings?
itself?
When you use it for me, what's the settings? Like how much is the
I use
frequency?
the frequency I use for you. You're a regular person. You're not an obese person. Okay, I use like 42 frequency, but I just change the intensity.
Oh.
Okay, that's all, and that's why you're feeling this one.
Yeah, actually,
What's happening? Tell us.
You're a smoker?
no. Because you can feel it like it is
It's
really
penetrating, yes.
penetrating. Because
It's
you know,
coming inside.
It's coming
because
inside.
you know, the massager is like
outside,
outside,
superficial.
yeah.
Yes.
But this one is like
Inside.
There's a
radio frequency.
oh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a
Acoustic
This is
What they will
this is
define?
acoustic.
Acoustic
waves.
Okay, those are mechanical waves.
Acoustic
Okay,
waves.
acoustic waves.
Yeah.
So this probe is actually
Parang sa
the
speaker.
heart of the machine.
Yung
This
little
is the
frequency.
one which is actually generating those acoustic waves.
Vibration.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
acoustic
I'm
vibration.
reaching inside the lungs without even hurting anything. I'm just reaching inside the lungs. So after a lot of experiments, it has been it's been known that the frequency for reaching inside the lungs is between 38 and 42. You are changing the intensity, and you can change the frequency slightly if you find that you are having a patient which is a little bit, you cannot really feel the vibrations on his back. Okay, beside, this is the only machine that you can use for neonates. It's impossible that to have an airway clearance device for a neonate. So if you neonate even on a resuscitator or even on an incubator, we will just change this adapter. Okay, and there is another adapter that comes with a small tube, so you can apply it on the neonate, slide gently on his chest. So if he's having mucus inside his very tiny lungs, okay, it will get dissolved. So he will improve. Just lying inside, he will find it will get out of his mouth. You got my point? For adults, we are having different kind of adapters. This adapter, for example, for regular adults, okay, like Mr. Alan or Frank. And there is other adapter, okay, which we're having here. So it's having a bigger circumference for obese ones, okay. And of course, when I put it on an obese lady or a lady who's big breast or something, and I just put it like that, I don't want to give this inside the breast. I just want to reach to the lungs. So that's why I'm increasing intensity, and I will feel it directly. Once I put my hand on her back, I will just feel it directly. Okay. But if I'm having a very slight boy or a young boy or a very thin one, so of course I will minimize the intensity, because if I make the intensity, he will be shaking. Okay, so I minimize the intensity because all what I want to feel on the back is just the little bit of vibration. Okay, because I need those acoustic waves to pass through the lungs, go through the mucus, liquefy it, and then it will not gonna be anymore stuck inside the alveoli or the bronchi or wherever, and get out. This is actually very, very simple theory, and I will just repeat some things for Alan. You can use it on people who's having trauma, even people who are having spine injury, people who are having even abdominal surgeries, okay, because you are not hurting them a lot. All what you felt as if you are having a massage, okay. Similar, this is what the feeling that you are having, okay, but actually we are penetrating inside, reaching to the lungs, reaching to the mucus, and liquefying the mucus. So everybody is happy. He's feeling as if you are giving him like a massage, but actually you are giving him a direct treatment to the issue that is actually postponing the improvement of the patient being intubated or being in the ICU. Like for example, Corona, and that was actually happening last year. Then hospitals in Europe and US and Canada, which who have this machine. Actually, this machine is available since 2014, but never been introduced in Saudi. Okay, so it happened that centers, ICU centers, which have Corona cases, when they applied this one, they find that they are improving, okay, faster than the one who are not using this one, okay, because this is actually like applying the treatment directly to the stuck mucus inside the lungs. Of course, you had previously some Corona cases here, am I right? Or maybe now. So when the patient's actually turning to becomes an acute case, okay, he cannot take his breath. His breath is full with a lot of mucus, am I right? And things are not comfortable at all. But when they start to use this machine, they find that they are coming down from patients staying in the ICU for 17 and 19 days. They are going down to 7 and 8 and 9 days. Okay, so this actually improves his case. It improves a lot of patients to get rid of being intubated. Okay, because he's improving, and you were helping him to improve. And we have this example yesterday in Amman. They just applied for 3 times on the patient, intubated patient, female patient, and when they make the X-ray, there is a lot of improvement than the X-ray of Saturday. That's the whole story. Okay, so if you have any questions, please, you can ask me. You're welcome. Hello.
Only for this one, like do you have any consumables like this will be available, sir?
Exactly.
Because in the whole of kingdom.
And on all other machines, all the other Airway clearance devices, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, that you need to use vests or straps, okay? And of course, it's really I'm not gonna say very difficult, but for some patients, you have to raise him, pass it, and strap it. Or if you are using the vest, you have to wear the vest as if he's wearing something. Got my point? And this is not here. You don't need to do anything with that. There, you always need to have the right size for the vest or the strap. Okay, and of course you cannot figure out what the kind of patient is gonna reach you at the ICU, right? Maybe he's obese, maybe he's young, maybe she's a female, male, a young boy, whatever. You don't. But with this one, you can apply to everybody. All what you need to change is to change the adapter. Okay, so you're having different sizes of adapters. Let me show it to you.
Oh, yeah.
No.
not concerned.
No, what we are telling, sir, like the technical support, it will be there, sir.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, technical support is
Because
there.
sometimes, really, based on our experience, one, like some people will come here to do.
Tapos
Yeah.
yung disposable cover na kita.
Yeah, and then after they sell the product, then
Sure.
something will happen to the product. We cannot find it. Like,
All what I'm asking you for is not to fill this down on the floor. Okay.
this is what a transducer type or something.
This is like the probe which is actually generating the head which is generating the acoustic waves that you are feeling it.
Okay.
Okay. If you look to it, it looks as if it's like a speaker. Okay. Because you know sound is a mechanical waves also.
Okay.
But this is not a speaker. This is actually an acoustic wave generator. You got my point?
Okay.
So it generates actually. This is a generator of acoustic waves. So you just generate it from here. You use the correct adapter, you just apply it here, it passes through the adapter, it is actually distributed, and then you apply it on the right spot, and then it reaches to inside the patient. That's actually how, this is the whole theory. As much as looks a bit simple, but as much it is really very effective. Okay, so this is the whole issue. Let me tell you something. When they start to have COVID cases last year, so DYMEDSO was pushed to say that they have to, or they can change this adapter from patient to another. But let me tell you something. This is not actually a real responsible stuff. Let me tell you exactly what is happening in the real life. Or let me ask you a question. In physiotherapy, if I'm having a probe or if I'm applying something like that, similar to that to the patient, what they are doing? They are just covering it with a cover, right? And they apply it to the bare skin of the patient. Here, we don't apply to bare skin. Here, we are using it directly on an apron, on a abaya, on a jalabia, on a shirt, or whatever he's wearing. You can apply that. We are not applying anything to skin. So we don't have any hazardous material that will reach here. Okay. Besides, what's happening in real life, that even in departments, they are not changing that one. They are just staying still, covering it. Because if I'm going to change this, I'm going to change this handle? Of course not. So what they are doing, they are just covering it with any kind of cover available here in any hospital. You got my point? And like the one they are using for any probe. Okay, just cover it and they just use it. And later on, all what you do, or what you can do, you can even clean it with an alcohol swab. That's all. On the longer stage, if this membrane is damaged, you just call us, we will supply you this one. That's all. Okay.
What's this one? Like
This is like a membrane, because those acoustic waves are coming from here, it is distributed, okay, and then you can feel it on the other side. If I start this one alone, see?
it's very loud.
Because it's high intensity, you see? This is just going like that, okay? But I need to distribute it, okay, and apply it to the certain spot. So that's why I'm using, for example, this for pediatric. Any question?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. When I'm applying this machine, I said that maybe you are not having a fresh X-ray. No, you're not having a fresh X-ray. Okay, so you need to apply to a patient who you don't know exactly what is the obstruction is or where is that. So as I said, you will apply it on 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From bottom to down of the lungs. You will put it on every spot for 3 minutes. And then you move to the other spot. So how you know that the 3 minutes are finished? You'll have this.
So it's program or
Yeah. See here it's 6 minutes 10 seconds. Okay. You hear this sound before, and now this will the second time you hear it. 3 minutes,
So,
and then another
so
3
you can
minutes.
go to the menu and program these things.
Of course, and
Okay.
you can cancel even this one. Okay, but usually in ICU here you will apply it directly to the correct spot because you are having an X-ray. You got my point? But let us suppose that we are having a patient who doesn't have an X-ray, he's on the ward, and you really need to fix him or try to help him to improve until you fix his X-ray and stuff like that. You can go with the machine to the patient directly and apply through this technique. So you know that you target all the spots, okay, making sure to liquefy the mucus and so he can spit it out. You got my point? That's all. That's the whole story. And that's all. So if you have any further question, just tell us, and you're welcome anytime. That's all.
If the patient have just surgery, we can apply.
Sure. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Sure. What kind of surgery?
Chest.
Chest surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can apply, no problem. Because you're not affecting. Actually, you're not putting it on superficial skin. You're just putting it outside. Besides, they are not affecting any
So
stitches
it
or
will not
anything.
increase because when we are doing chest physiotherapy for this chest, what's this chest injury, so it will increase the intracranial pressure of the patient.
Because when you said it's physiotherapy. When you're using physiotherapy, you're using highly mechanical waves, and you're doing like that. Here, you don't need even to move. You just put it like that and just hold it like that and just start. Alas, that's all. So you are passing all the superficial stuff reaching to inside. You are reaching inside the lung. You are not reaching the outside of the lung. You got my point? That's all. You're not applying something, making like that, or I'm not doing like that, or something. I'm just applying it like that. Of course, you can do it like that. Just if the patient is awake and you want to make him like some. Yeah. You got my point?
Yeah, actually, malakas siya.
Please straighten yourself.
I don't know.
Don't worry. Try to yourself. Just hold it from here. Yeah. Actually,
Actually,
bye.
So, yan,